Hi everybody, it's Tom from FindTheBestCarPrice.com. Today we're going to take a look at the 2022 Buick Encore. This is the GX Select model we're going to look at with an exterior color of satin steel metallic. Interior is ebony, and the sticker price is $29,190. What exactly do you get for that price? Well, let's try and help you out in answering the question if this is a subcompact SUV that is worth buying. So let's talk a little bit about the cons first. Limited feature availability is one. It also has unimpressive fuel economy for a 1.3 liter four-cylinder that's under the hood, and we'll give those numbers in just a little bit. And the cargo capacity is a little bit on the low side compared to most competitors. But never fear, there are some pros, including that at highway speeds, unlike one of its competitors, the Honda HR-V, at least the 2022 and earlier models, if I can get that out of my mouth, it is very quiet at highway speeds. It is extremely and easily maneuverable. So if you live in a really large city and not a lot of space to get around because of overcrowding, well, this is a great vehicle to have, and excellent outward visibility. So let's take a quick look at exactly what you have exterior-wise with this model. You're gonna have safety features such as lane departure. You're going to have blind spot monitoring. That's always very helpful. And a quick look here at the front end with the headlights. You can maybe see those daytime running lights. It's a little bit bright out here, but the daytime running lights, you don't have LED here as far as your headlights go. You do have fog lights down here on the lower portion of the bumper. You do have heated side view mirrors that are power adjustable and manually folding, so that is a definite win. And something else that I like here is that you have passive entry on the front and the rear doors, and you can lock and or unlock all four doors from either the front or the rear. So for you parents starting your family and you need an SUV but you don't need a full size or even a mid-size yet, this subcompact would be good for you. Well, you're probably going to go to those rear doors first. That is going to be helpful. I talked about how the gas mileage is a little bit on the unimpressive side. Let's take a look under the hood and talk about what those numbers are. Here under the hood, the turbocharged 1.3 liter four-cylinder. It was previously making 138 horsepower. Buick has bumped those numbers up to 155, 174 pounds-feet of torque, made it to a CVT, continuously variable transmission, that single speed model. This is a front-wheel drive version. What about those MPGs? 29 miles per gallon city, 33 out on the highway, 30 combined, and according to Buick, you will use 3.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles you drive. All right, guys, a quick look at the remote. You're going to see remote start, which is a good feature. I know a lot of you really like that. And you do have a power rear lift gate. Let's take a look inside as we open that up. You will see a cargo cover right here if you want to take advantage of that. That is removable, by the way. So if you don't want that to be there, you can take that out and increase your cargo capacity and capabilities really well right there. Up to 48.4 cubic feet of cargo capacity. Let's take a look at exactly how you maximize that, at least on one side. You can do this with both seats. And one thing I like here is that these seat backs are nice and light. You do have a spare tire located underneath the floor if you need that. All right, let's take a look into this ebony interior. You're gonna find, well, maybe not the largest door bins you've ever seen, but there is some space here. Remember, this is a subcompact, so we probably don't expect too much beyond that. One thing that is different that I didn't mention earlier, something new for 2022, is that you'll find these map pockets on the rear of the seats. And unlike, I know, the Honda HR-V, at least the 2022, the outgoing model, they only have one on each, or one on one side and nothing on the other. So, well, there's an advantage there. You do have the fold-down armrest, and the seats are pretty comfortable back here. Notice everything is kind of moved far back, so don't let that deceive you. That can change. And I do have a reasonable amount of head space above my head at 5'10". Even if I sit all the way up, let me make sure I'm all the way up, still have a few inches above my head, about 3 inches, so not too terribly bad. You don't have air conditioning vents on the rear of the center console, but you do have some connectivity down here, so that's going to be very helpful. But let's take a look at what the driver and the passenger will find in the front seat. And as we begin our front seat interior tour, all the controls here for your power windows, power locks, power mirrors, all that good stuff. Power locks up here. But here's something interesting. All 4 windows are one touch down. So we're going to do that with the driver's side. It's one touch up, but the other 3 are only one touch down. I'll give you a demonstration, but they are not one touch up, as you can see. Not a big deal, but just something you might want to know about. Controls for the headlights right down here on the left side of the dashboard. Leather wrapped steering wheel. This is a very comfortable steering wheel, by the way. And there is your instrument cluster. All the information you probably expect to see there. And you can run through quite a bit of information depending on what you want to see or what you want to know about. Pretty easy to figure out. Steering wheel mounted controls, got your cruise control over here, and there are controls on the rear of the steering wheel for controlling the radio. Not how good of a view I can give you of that, but it is there. Your 8-inch diagonal touch screen, very simple to use. Some people might say, well, that's a little antiquated. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. We'll have to see what comes for 2023 if there are any changes made. But you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto where you can pair your smartphone. You also have the capability to use the rear view camera. That's not going to be something you're not going to see on any vehicles now, at least in the US. Every vehicle will have that now. Controls for your radio right there. Push button start up here. And your air conditioning. The dual zone climate control is here, not tri-zone because you don't have any air conditioning vents back there in the rear, but I think this small interior is perfect with this particular setup. I'll move my bottle out of the way right there, and you can see more connectivity up there, USB and a 12 volt, and some of those safety features I was talking about, your lane keeping assist, your traction control, and over here, kind of hard to see, but you can see it right there. You can turn that kind of pesky auto stop start feature off. And for those of you who don't like push button shifters, good news. Well, obviously you already know. You don't have that here. Very nice, very easy to use. Power parking brake. And what about storage space here in the front seat area? A little bit right here in front of the center console. And then when you open the center console, initially it kind of looks like there's not much there, but you can remove this tray. So you really have quite a bit of space hidden underneath there in addition to what you can put in this tray. 10-way adjustable driver's seat, power adjustable, but you do have a manually adjustable passenger seat. And last but not least, here in the front seat area, before we take our test drive, there is the glove box. I wouldn't say that glove box is the size of a subcompact SUV. It actually is pretty large. All right, we're gonna hop out here onto the road for the test drive and see how this 155 horsepower model performs. So we're gonna get on down the road here. And I must say, one thing that I definitely noticed that's different here is you don't get that typical sound of the CVT. Now let me floor it and see what happens. Maybe a little bit, but I'll tell you what, this CVT has to be probably the best behaved I've ever experienced to this point. And I'm letting you listen for a second there, just a few seconds. The interior sound or the interior noise from the road noise, very quiet. I am very impressed with that. After having driven other subcompact SUVs in the past, I know we're talking about, is it better than the Honda HR-V? Well, it sure seems to be in that area. That is a fact. And the ride quality is not too bad. Usually a smaller SUV like this kind of has a little bit of a jarring ride to it. I'm not really experiencing that here either. It's not doing too badly, honestly. I'm pretty impressed with the overall experience. Now, it's only me in the vehicle, so obviously I don't have other people to kind of weight the vehicle down and see if it would make a difference in how it drives down the road, but I don't think it would be that bad. But I tell you what, for being a turbocharged engine, I'm actually very impressed. I'm gonna make a legal U-turn here, and we're gonna head back to the dealership. One reason I want to do this right here, there's a little bit more traffic out on some of the test drive routes that we normally take this time of the day, so we're gonna get back to the dealership real quick, but this lane is pretty rough, so it's gonna give me a good idea of the ride quality of this Encore. And again, I have to give some pretty high marks in that respect. So good ride quality, very quiet interior when you're driving at highway speeds. The acceleration, well, for 155 horsepower isn't bad. And just overall, it's comfortable. The seats are comfortable. I like the fact that you have the 10-way adjustable power driver's seat. That makes a big difference. Leather-wrapped steering wheel, it's comfortable. So overall, I'm pretty impressed here. What are we going to see in the future? Well, we'll just have to wait and see if Buick is going to make some changes to the Encore to make it even better. To learn more about the model in today's video, visit the link in the description for a detailed comparison between trims and pricing for the vehicle we featured or any vehicle you may be interested in. These pages feature information such as our recommended trim level based on price, value, and features. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. We look forward to seeing you next time.